Hey friends, welcome to the Primal Way podcast. I'm your host, C. John Sawyer, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the benefits of intermittent fasting. This episode is brought to you by my sponsor, White Duck Espresso. If you find yourself in the greater Tampa Bay area, head up north to Holiday to the White Duck coffee stand and grab yourself the best coffee you've ever tasted. Have a great day, friends, and I will see you on the inside. Hey, welcome friends, it's C, the Earthborn Primalist with you today, and I wanted to take some time to talk to you about the benefits of cycling yourself, emptying yourself, allowing yourself to completely run down and then recharge back up. And I'm going to use some analogies along the way as a part of that. So just to get us started, one of the things that I've recognized in the modern day age is we're always on full, we're always topped up. We can't stand feeling hungry. And in my work as a wellness coach for some time, one of the biggest drawbacks I found was people who, I don't know if drawback's the right word, but you get the idea. People who would message me and they would say, I need a plan for getting me from breakfast to lunch or from lunch to dinner because I get so hungry and I can't allow myself to feel hungry. Now, I'm not sure if it was exact words like that, like I can't allow myself to feel hungry, but just, hey, I need a plan. I need to fill this gap. I need a snack. I need something in between to get me from one meal to the next. Now, we can talk about the merits of grazing across the day, and we can talk about the merits of different dietary plans. I'm not a dietitian, so it's definitely not something that I would speak to from a place of authority, but what I do recognize as a nutritionist and somebody who has worked as an accredited wellness coach, that having this mindset that we cannot get from one meal to the next without having to stop for a snack or feed ourselves, this is like a problem. This is an issue for us. So one of those analogies I want to use just to really set the tone here is your cell phone, right? So you have this cell phone or even a laptop computer. They are, for whatever reason, not designed to be plugged in indefinitely. Like, you leave it plugged in, the battery itself gets stuffed full of charge and it overheats, and eventually, I'm sure they're making upgrades. I don't know much about batteries, but the problem that is happening is you're drastically decreasing the lifespan of that object. Your phone, you find it gets kind of sloppy. You take it off charge if you leave it on charge all night with the cord plugged in. From the time you go to bed until the time you wake up, you take it off. Within like 3 to 6 months, you start to notice something with your phone. Like you're using the apps and you notice that, hey, it's only 11 a.m. and I'm at 50% charge already. And then, it's 3 p.m. and, hey, my phone's dead. I'm at like 5%. And what if I need to use it or call someone or, something on the way home? So it creates kind of like a problem for us in that respect with our electronics. It's the same thing with the human body, right? Understanding, and science is starting to catch up with this and verify this. One of the really powerful things that we've started implementing in our everyday life is a process known as intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is just a period of going without eating for some time before you start your eating cycle for the day. Excuse me. Now, it can be various periods of time, and it depends how new to it you are, how experienced with it you are, as to how long you're going to go without eating. But generally, you'll finish your last meal at dinner time, 6 or 7 p.m., and then you won't eat again until, like minimum 10 a.m., 11 a.m., lunchtime, 1 p.m., again, depending on how big your fasting cycle is. So you're not fasting for huge periods, as in like multiple days. That has its merits too, but you're literally only extending your fast before you break the fast, before you have your breakfast, before you eat for the first meal for the day. And there's huge health benefits associated with that. We start to empower ourselves. We start activating our fat burning mechanism. Our body, in the absence of carbohydrates, after about 3 hours, it starts looking for alternative fuel sources. And the predominant fuel source that you have in your body is your stored energy. Now, that is largely fats, but if you eat too many carbs throughout your life and you've put on extra weight, those fat cells, that adipose tissue, without getting too sciencey on you, that is actually stored full of calories. It's stored full of energy, right? If your body can't burn it in the moment, it says, cool, I'm going to save this for a rainy day, and it puts it into the fat cells. So what you refer to when you call yourself fat, or someone calls you fat, hopefully not too much in this day and age, but what you're actually referring to, the fat cells themselves are like storage vaults. They're little empty lockers, and they have a certain amount of energy kept in them at any given point, right? And so if you end up in survival mode and you're absolutely starving to death, your body will open the storage vaults and in an ideal world start shuttling that energy into your cells to use as fuel, right? But the problem comes from the fact that oftentimes what we do is we tend to overfill those storage units, and then the body accommodates because the body is so flexible, the body is so powerful, it's dynamic, and it will just do whatever you want it to do, whatever you ask it to do, it will do, usually without too much problem, at least initially. So you end up in this position, right, where you've got way too much stored energy, and then you've thrown out of balance your eating hormones, leptin and ghrelin. These are hormones that tell you to eat or stop eating depending on where you're at, and they fall out of balance, and now all of a sudden you're having problems with various processes in your body, your endocrine system that's usually responsible for hormonal function and different processes. You start getting issues with your blood sugars, insulin, which is it's another hormone, and it's responsible for shuttling the energy that you put into your system from the bloodstream into the cells. Well, if you put too much of that into your system too often, the response, the process stops happening, and then you become what's known as pre-diabetic, right? So this is all lifestyle influenced. So what happens when we continually feed ourselves is we're taking away our body's natural ability to do what it needs to do. Now, those natural abilities include things like autophagy. The process of autophagy, it's a really cool word, but what it actually means is far cooler. It literally is turning your cells into cannibals. So the cells will turn on one another, and if the cells are compromised or weakened, half cells, sick cells, problems with the cells, not sickle cells, sick cells, like sick or diseased. If the cells are having a problem, putting yourself into autophagy or autophagy is one of the best things that you can do, because it starts telling your body to cannibalize those unhealthy cells. They're the first ones to go. Just like, when you look at a forest, right? If there's a lack of water in the forest isn't getting the water it needs. The healthy trees with the deep roots, they're going to be big, prominent green trees. But trees that don't have deep roots, or that aren't so healthy, or they have some kind of, bug infestation, or they're diseased, and it's all linked, they're the ones that start to turn brown and die. Think of your body in the same way. So you're literally taking your body and making the healthy cells turn on the unhealthy cells, so that those unhealthy cells break down and die. And then, of course, because the body is a regenerative model, it has to replenish it. Now, when it does, it will replenish it with the nutrients you've been giving it. So when you start this process, one of the traps that I see a lot of people fall into is that you will end up, I call it the dark side of intermittent fasting, or the dark side of ketosis diets and things like that. It's literally the dark side of this process, because you kind of get it into your mind that, hey, I've got this shorter eating window, so I can eat whatever I want, and then you start putting all this high caloric density crap into your system that doesn't really have any nutrient value. Well, your body is a regenerative model, and so what it's actually doing is it's regrowing itself, but it's doing it with the basic nutrients you're giving it. So if you're giving it crappy nutrients, it's building crappy cells for yourself. Now, here's a fact. The body will start to regenerate in as soon as 4 days. It starts with your stomach lining. Because it's such a caustic environment in your stomach lining, your body has to start regenerating that. And it's going to do that with the nutrients that you give it. So if you're giving your body inferior nutrients, or if you're feeding yourself on high calories, and then just there's no real nutrients in it, no vitamins, no minerals, no what we refer to as micronutrients, your macros being carbs, proteins, fats, and fiber. the micronutrients, that's all your vitamins and minerals. If you're in deficit of those things, favoring rather, empty calories largely, which is what a lot of food, I say that with inverted commas, is on the market today, then you're regrowing your body in a very unhealthy way, because it is regrowing from as soon as 4 days. So you wonder why people start having all these issues like leaky gut and ulcers and all this other shit that's happening in there. It's because your stomach lining is regenerating, your entire digestive tract is regenerating. It's super caustic, it's super used all the time, like just non-stop. The stomach, the whole digestive system from the mouth all the way to the outlet, like the anus, it is just constantly used. And it's such a high use environment that it has to replenish itself all the time. So have a think about that next time you start putting food into your body. You're hungry and you grab a snack. What are you grabbing? Are you grabbing something that your body can legitimately use to regrow itself? Or are you grabbing something that's just full of empty calories that's going to make you feel full, but it's basically like eating foam? It's like eating filler. Like it's like going and grabbing a handful of straw and just munching it down. And there's probably even better nutritional value in straw than there is in half the crap we eat from the stores these days. So that's the dark side of this whole process. Now here's the upside to it, right? Here's the light side of it. Allowing your body to do what it does, to experience hunger, and to conditioning yourself to experiencing that hunger, that is so powerful, because it starts to train inner resilience as well. Hey, I'm safe. I can be hungry and I'm safe. The wheels aren't falling off. Some of you have probably heard me say previously, treat hunger, feeling hungry, like the gas warning light on your car, right? You're driving down the street and the gas light comes on. That doesn't mean that you're going to come to a grinding halt right then and there, right? It's time to check in with other things. My gas warning light's just come on. Okay, cool. Where's the needle? The needle is still hovering just above the empty. So it's like, that's a signal. It's time for me to go and find a gas station, but I'm okay. I can drive. I've probably got 30 or 40 miles left on the car at that point, and I can continue driving and I can find a gas station without going out of my way to do so. Like, I'm safe. It's the same thing with our hunger, right? When we start to feel hungry, it's time to check in. It's time for us to say, where's my energy levels right now? And where's my focus right now? If your energy and your focus are both exactly where you want them to be, and I would say use a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being charged fully, then if you're still at like an 8, 9 or 10, you're fine to keep going. Like, you'll check back in. Hunger won't let you starve to death. It's very, very difficult to starve to death. Trust me. I haven't done it, but I've fasted for extended periods of time. I've fasted for out to 21 days previously. And I can tell you, it's very, very difficult for you to actually kill yourself by not eating. Your body has so many different safety mechanisms and overrides in place, and the hunger will damn near drive you insane before you get to that point. Your energy levels will tank before you get to that point. Your focus will wane so much before you get to that point. So you're not gonna starve to death when you're feeling like an 8 out of 10 on energy and focus to keep going. You're actually doing your body a service, because you're teaching your body to rely on what it has. You're making it hungry. You're making it more capable. They say the wolf climbing the mountain is more savage than the wolf on the top of the mountain. If you're fully fed, you're relaxed, your body's relaxed, nothing's really happening there. But if you're hungry, your body is changing. Your body is going into a process, and that process is in your benefit. It is taking measures to ensure your survival, and those measures make you powerful. Powerful, powerful measures. So keep that in mind. Like, keeping yourself constantly topped up and well fed all the time without ever experiencing hunger is not good for you. It's just not. And now is the time for you to start exploring into that greater health, wellness, and vitality. But if you're going to start intermittent fasting, if you're going to start a process of having your body go hungry for some time and then feeding it, please keep in mind that your body will regrow itself based on what you put into it. So if you're putting in nutrient-dense foods that generally are lower in calories, that have all of those micronutrients that your body needs, your body is going to turn into a powerhouse of energy, a powerhouse of health, wellness, and vitality. Your strength will grow. Your sleep cycles will improve. Your hormones will come into balance. Everything will start happening. And that, my friends, is what was meant by the saying, let food be thy medicine. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in for this first episode, and I will see you all again very soon. See the Earthborn Primalist out.